everybody. This is Eric Worre. Welcome to NetworkMarketingPro.com. I'm here with one of the industry legends, Mr. Nathan Ricks, and we're here in St. George, Utah. Braved the snow and the bluffs and the cliffs, proving that I'll go to the ends of the earth in order to be able to bring you awesome information. And this gentleman has been one of the true rock stars in our profession. He's earned over $40 million in commissions as a distributor. And first of all, thank you for taking the time.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it very much. Here's a question for you. There's so many, I think the DSA says there's 67 million people involved in the direct selling associated, in companies around the world. You've made $40 million in commissions in the 20-some years that a little bit more than 20 years that you've been involved with the profession. What makes you so special? I mean, everybody out there wants to have the results. They want to have the private jet. They want to live in an amazing house. They want to be able to kind of have the lifestyle stuff too. What makes you different than the other people in the profession that don't have the results that you have?
Well, I'm no different than anybody else. That's one of the misconceptions is people think somebody.
But you have to be somehow.
People think though that they jump into their pants both legs at a time in the morning and they're somehow superhuman or they're better or different. That's not really true. I think the only place that people that are really successful might be different than the masses is that they know how to, two things. One, they know how to focus on something, on one thing, and they know how to commit to that. Okay, and then they just stay consistent in that commitment. And
so focus and consistency, really?
Yeah, really. I think that's really it. Of course you've got to have, the right vehicle and the right company and the right
assuming that's all that
you've got the opportunity that's all equal. The thing that separates two people would be that one person is very focused, they know how to focus, and that's really hard for, entrepreneurial people to do, or people that even have ADD,
right?
Which I think a lot of people in my group had,
right,
and that's okay. I mean, the people that didn't fit the regular corporate environment, they couldn't put up with all the baloney and the memos and the politics. They were looking for a better way to utilize their energy and their skills and their talent, and that's great. And I think a lot of that kind of personality gravitates towards what we do because it suits them so well. They're so good at it, fits their personality. But the fact is, they have a hard time putting the blinders on. And when you make a decision, the biggest thing that's really critical is you got to put the blinders on. It's like a horse that has blinders on so he's not distracted and looking all over the place. You want to just get focused on that one objective and then be absolutely consistent every day. And that's the biggest thing people can't do. People say, well, I'm committed. They don't even know what it means when they say the word to be committed. People don't know commitment. They don't know what it means to do that.
Yeah, they're looking for. Well, don't you think that so many people come in with this lottery mentality, hoping to get in quick before their neighbor does? They're not necessarily learning the skills.
Well, that mentality is appropriate in a pyramid scheme where you've got to be the first one in.
Sure.
But with this company I'm with, I didn't join until it was 5 years old.
Right.
I wouldn't even look at one unless it's 5 years old because they don't even know. They don't know if they can even pay the plan they promised.
Exactly.
Right? So for me, I think once you've decided, it doesn't really matter how old the company is or any of that stuff. That's really immaterial. What matters truly is, can you really focus and can you really be committed?
Let me ask you what you mean by that, because focus and consistency, I would agree with that. With the same thing with me. I've had the ability to do that, and I know many of the other top leaders that I've talked to have the same ability. Assuming that people pick a good company and they've got good products and good compensation, all that stuff's solid. Assuming that. When you say focus on what?
Well, you got to just be focused on meeting the objectives of the compensation plan.
Okay.
You got to be focused on people. That's the key component here. Those are the assets of your business.
Right.
Are your key downline distributors. And so what you have to do is be really focused and really consistent. And the problem is that people will be consistent for a week.
Right.
Then they get blown off course, And life happens to everybody. Problems, work problems, children problems, divorce, failures, deaths, disappointments. That's life. That's going to happen to everybody. Can you focus through those bumps in the road that happen to everybody? Or are you going to get bumped out of the cart and then be back to regular life? And then you have to say, so what's different now? So you're going to go back to a job. You're going to go back to, where does that go?
Right.
That doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
You know, that's not really. It's just, you know, treading water and paying your bills, and
Right.
you're never really making any real progress, right? And the key, Eric, I think, is that you know, we need to know and expect that most people are going to quit. You kind of have to expect that
just because they can't focus.
Well, half the people can't even keep the main commitment they make in their life, and that's to get married.
Right.
They quit that.
Okay.
Half of them. So what makes you think they're going to stick in your network marketing business?
Right. I got it.
Right? And so people are going to quit. Most of them are going to quit because most people can't focus and they can't be consistent.
Be consistent.
Right.